hoop sizes before we get started. I was just practicing. I was warming up with this one. So this was my, it's not the original hoop that I started hooping with, but it's the same size. And it's a 1 inch thick HDPE kind of, or a high density plastic. This is 100 centimeters, so it's really big and it's really heavy, but this is what I learned on. For those of you who are still in the like, what size does it feel, will feel best for me? Then for me personally, and everyone is a little bit different, I stuck with the HDPE plastic, which in some countries is called PE, or there's a few variations of the plastic, but this is 3/4 inch, and I went down to a 95 centimeter. And then when polypros got introduced to the hoop world, wow, we all felt it in big, wonderful, beautiful ways. I went down to a 90 centimeter polypro in 3/4 inch. And I pretty much stayed here because I love this size for me personally, because it allows me to on body and off body. But your hoop size is an experiment truly for your body. If at any time you feel like you want to share your hoop size in the chat, not to distract anyone, of course, but if you would like to share your hoop size, it helps out other hoopers, because that is the biggest question that I get. What size hoop should I use? And the second biggest, especially for on-body hooping, is what size, after I've really kind of started to master it, what size should I go down to? And I really just want to encourage everyone to recognize that it doesn't mean that you're behind or further ahead or anything. It's your preference. It's your body's preference. If you're not using a Poly Pro, it doesn't mean that you're not good at hooping, or so there's none of that stuff. It just means that it's a lighter weight plastic. It's faster generally. For some of us, it's harder to keep up, but others, a weighted hoop, a heavier hoop is harder to keep up. So it's definitely, sometimes it's an experiment. All right, there's my hoop size spiel. Are we ready? Everyone feeling good? I feel like we've got one more person to come in. Good timing, and we're ready to go. I'm going to start with this poly hoop, and we're just going to do a little bit of an off-body warm-up. I'm using the 21-day shoulder hooping playlist. If you'd like to rock the tunes in the background, if you can't hear mine, then please do that. And I'm going to start recording. Let's go. Find your space. Yes, I'm going to turn on my tunes. All right. Just wherever you're at, hopefully you can hear me. If anything comes up with the audio, please let me know. I am going to ground my feet into the floor, sip some energy up into my hips and my body, my chest, my heart, and then hands on the outside, we're just going to swirl the hoop around. Activating through the shoulder blades. Perhaps letting the head be heavy. If you're like me, always got to wiggle your hips, move your body. If this is new to you, we start at the front, then the side, and the back, and the side. If this is familiar in your body, rock it out. You may be going in a circle, and then we go in the opposite direction. You're either turning in a circle or standing still, and just noticing the difference in pace. How are you feeling? Maybe a little tired and slow. Maybe you need to take your time. Maybe it's the morning for you and you've just had a coffee. You're feeling wild and ready. Listen to the beat of your body. Is there somewhere that's feeling a little sticky? Does it need some movement medicine? Take the hoop down to about hip height, and we're just going to rock it from one side to the other. Again, we listen to the pace of our body. So I'm simply lifting one arm up and taking one arm out, but you might be doing this really fast. Might feel good on the outsides of your shoulders, or you may be taking it slow, maybe walking around the room. Always remember in every hoop practice that it's your practice. And as a hoop teacher, we stay mindful of that as well. I listen to my body while I'm sharing with you. Now let's take the hoop to the sky. Already you might be feeling it, warming up those shoulders. It is the shoulder hooping class. So we're going to press the hoop out to the front, to the sky, and let it melt down your back, however that works in your body today, tonight. Beautiful. Okay, swing it around to the front. Gently press towards me. Beautiful. Oh, hello, shoulder blades. Hello, belly. Feel where this activates for you. Reach for the sky. And then soften. Let it melt down your back. Ooh, maybe one arm then the other. Or maybe you can bring it down, depending on the size of your hoop and how flexible or mobile your body's feeling. Bring it around to the front. Press it out to me. To the sky. And then melt down. Ooh, let it peel down, never forcing, wherever works for you and your range of movement. Last time, round to the front. To the sky. And let it melt. Oh, beautiful. Okay, bring it to the hip height again. We're making some big circles. Hopefully you're already starting to feel some beautiful blood flow around your heart, your shoulders, ribs, lungs, and in the opposite direction. And we haven't even started waist hooping yet. How divine. Beautiful. Okay, let's drop that hoop. Let the arms have a bit of a rest and pop your chest towards me. Then over to one side, to the back, and to the other side. One more time in this direction. Side, back, and side. Beautiful. To the front, then the other direction. Over to the side, back, and side. Front, open the chest, side, back, and side. Okay, let's stay here. We're just going to slide from side to side. See if you can plant your feet on the floor. Connect your hips, keep them nice and solid. And it's like we're sliding our rib cage side to side. You don't have to go as fast as me. If you want to do it nice and slow, that's okay. Beautiful. Okay. If you need to change your hoop size, we're going to do some on-body activation, taking the hoop up and down our body. I'm going to change hoop size. Just bigger makes it easier. But grab a hoop that feels right for you and connect with waist hooping. So we're just going to start off with our waist hooping. As I grab my hoop. Beautiful. How's everyone going? All looking divine? Nice. Okay. So whenever you feel ready, just on the waist. If this is your first hoop practice of the day, give yourself a moment. Come into this circle, into this space right here. If waist hooping is still fairly new for you, 1 foot forward or the other foot forward or feet side by side. And most of the thrust is from your belly. That's a very short lesson on waist hooping, I know. So give yourself this time to practice. If it drops down, bring it back up. Nice flat spin. However, if waist hooping is one of your happy zones, just come into your playtime here. Take your awareness back to that sticky bit that you may have connected with while we were taking the hoop around our body. Was it your shoulders? Maybe your hips? Perhaps your feet feel a bit sore? Is there a sticky bit in your body that you can send some energy to just while you're doing this most beautiful practice of play? Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Let it be childlike, wondrous. Marvel at how incredibly intelligent you are. Just being able to do this. Giggle if you need to. Smile. Celebrate. Send some love to those sticky bits. Maybe it's your wrist, your hands might be feeling a little bit heavy. Maybe some tightness in your mind or your thoughts. And what we're going to do is take the hoop from our waist down to our hips. And if we can keep this pelvic rock, luxuriate in that. So if you're new to this, as the hoop is rocking on our waist, we take the throttle off our thrust a little, so we slow down. And then as it hits just below our hip bones or middle butt, we're going to speed up the pelvic rock. If it pops back up to your waist, that's okay, try it again. Take the pace off the waist push, let the hoop drop down, and then it becomes a pelvic rock. It might feel a little bit faster for you. You might find yourself dipping into it a little and bringing it back up. Keep that posture, crown on to the sky, and enjoy that pelvic rock. Nice. Beautiful. Keep sending love to those sticky bits and start to notice where the body is feeling more nourished, feeling warm. Try something a little different. We're going to do that a lot in this class. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to encourage you, cheer you on to try something different. Keep your crown on to the sky, keep your heart open and that pelvic rock going. But if you're stuck in the mud and you're facing me, try to express with a circle. Maybe open your hands. Maybe roll your shoulders back. Perhaps take up some space by stepping around the room. And it's okay if the hoop drops. We're moving out of any of those sticky bits. Even at experienced hoopers or hoopers who've been hooping for a really long, we plateau. We get comfortable in life, in our practice. So let's disrupt that a little bit. And if that means the hoop drops, it's okay. As long as you have that hoop posture and that hoop pace. Beautiful. Go, Shira. Yeah, pick it up. Work it. Nicely, Anne. Okay. So we're going to go with the coiling up and down. So as we let the hoop drop down, if you can keep it rotating on your hips with your pelvic rock, then we're going to shimmy it back up to our waist. And let's try this. You can do this in your own time, but try it 8 times if you can, at least 8 times. So we drop it down, and then we wiggle it back up with a shake, 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 a shimmy, up, up, up. It's kind of hard to show you in these baggy pants. I should have worn leggings. But so waist hooping, we take off the pace, we pull back the throttle, drop the hoop down, pelvic rock. Keep it there, nice and fast, not too much booty, not too much swaying back, crown high, heart open, and then to bring it back up, shake, shake, shake. See if you can get it from waist to hips. And if you're feeling really sassy tonight, don't have any pause in between. So drop it down, bring it up. Drop it down, bring it up. But if you're taking your time, then give yourself that time. Drop it down to the hips, hands on the waist if you need, and then shake it back up. This is your pace. One is not better than the other. It's what you're choosing in this practice. Down to the hips, up to the waist. Down to the hips, up to the waist. Breathe. Try something new. If your arms are always locked by your side, raise them to the sky in celebration. If they're always out in this beautiful formation, let them be free. Try something new. Beautiful, up and down. It's like a massage for the lower back. If it's feeling tired, if you've worked hard, I know lots of people are gardening right now. It does wondrous things to the body. Give yourself a massage. Go, Tanya. Working up a sweat. It's beautiful. Yes. Arms free. Go, Nicole. Lovely. So beautiful. All right, here we go. So we're going to take the hoop up another step. Stay with it if you can. If you're starting to feel tired, that is beautiful. Your body has a reserve of energy and it will come through your breath. and through your thoughts and through your activation of movement, and if you're feeling hydrated and have energy in your body. So we're going to go from the waist up to the solar plexus. This is our confidence, it's our self-esteem, it's our knowing that we can do this. It's our power point. So on the waist, we're going to pick up the pace, really see if you can, without too much extra movement, start that belly thrust a little bit faster. So if you're at a moderate pace, like belly, 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 see if you can just turn it up a notch, like belly, 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 belly. And what we're going to do is take the arms to the sky and activate a wiggle in the middle. This is not always accessible to everyone, but it looks like this. Speed up the belly if you can, arms to the sky, and see if you can get the hoop to come up to just underneath your boobs or onto your rib cage. See if you can bring it up. Some of us need to turn in a circle. Absolutely need to. That's okay. Some of us need to stand still and reach really high. Yes, beautiful. So on the belly, and see if you can do it 8 times. Bring it up, drop it down. Let it be rhythmic if this feels good for you. Up and down, up and down. But if you need time, waist, reach, spiral, activate, wiggle this middle body. And if your booty's taking over, your hips are taking over, or you can't quite comprehend what moving this middle body means, reach high, crown to the sky, activate your shoulder blades. One then the other. This often gets this middle rib cage area moving, the solar plexus here. It's okay if you're like, my body's never moved there before. Enjoy this. See if you can do that 8 times. Yes, go Tanya, beautiful. Be mindful of your breath. Amazing. Go Christina, working it hard. Shira, yes, 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 yes. Gorgeous. Okay. If you're feeling a little stuck, if you're like, oh, I'm really going to get this up, I want you to bring some lightness into it now. What does that mean? If you can take your hoop from your waist up to your solar plexus, maybe you can do it with a little octopus arms. Or maybe you can do it with a different image in your mind. Maybe you're thinking of swirling red wine in a glass or hot chocolate in a cup. Perhaps we talked about this morning in this morning's class, a spiral staircase. You can bring a little bit more undulation rather than, and it's okay in the beginning or even sometimes for years, we hold on so tight. Let it breathe. Beautiful. Okay, let's take the hoop up to our chest. We're getting there. Incredible. Beautiful. Up to our chest. And so right here, we're going to give it a nice flat spin. Raise the fingertips to the sky. And let's pulse open with our chest. If it drops down, I want you to bring it up. And notice, if you can, that when I am chest hooping, I'm staying in my center, almost as if I'm being held up by some rope and I'm just twirling around, or like one of those ballerinas in a beautiful music box or a jewelry box. I'm on the spot. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't take up space, but if you can bring your movement into that tighter awareness with chest hooping, if you're still trying to work out the bumps, that's going to help you rather than swinging and swaying. Be mindful if your arms are going over in front, little by little, allow yourself to open up to create that space. And let me know. So let me know in the chat box or give me a little shout out if things are not working for you. It's okay. Or some troubleshooting. What's going on with bringing it from your waist to your hips, from your belly to your solar plexus? Is it sticking on your chest? Is it staying there? It's looking great. Beautiful. And just in this time, give yourself some playtime now. So give yourself the freedom to go waist, hips. If you want to shimmy up, you can. Just play. Waist to solar plexus. Maybe you're getting courageous, solar plexus, and you dip your chest in and you bring it up to your chest, maybe for the first time. Maybe you go from your chest and drop it down, solar plexus, waist, hips. Just allow yourself to feel the hoop on all parts of your body. And let me know, go Susie, work in it. Let me know if stuff is not working. What's happening for you? None of you can stop hooping. I love this. Just keep going. It's so beautiful. It's actually really amazing to see. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to have a drink of water while I tune in to any questions that you might have. Trying to keep it even. Yes, Susie, I don't know if you're still, wait, I'm going to have a look and see if you're still hooping. Cool. Each day our body is a little bit different, but Susie, you seem to have a very open heart. So you're pushing up to the sky, and sometimes that, I can't see your feet, but sometimes that can come from, I'll come back here. It can even come from our feet. So if we're pulsing too much with our hips and opening up our body, then our hoop is going to go that way. I'll show you. So if we're kind of doing this, it can even, I don't know if you can see my feet, hopefully you can, if I'm bouncing too much on my feet and my hips. And so the way to stop that is maybe come down onto your feet if you're doing this. I don't know because I can't see you, but and maybe not so much thrust with the hips. And it's an interesting thing because I'm always like, open your heart, open your heart. And so the overexpression of that is to push up towards the sky. So it's almost like we're going to just tone that down a little bit and come into the chest, into the back just a little bit more. So we're in that refinement of it, which is a beautiful phase. The back is slacking off and my feet are flat, but maybe it's in your hips. Yeah. So, and videoing, it's so beautiful to be able to see you. One thing that I would say too is if you're working really hard with these drills, and the drills are going to make you super strong, but sometimes you'll notice that it might flatten out when you turn in a circle, when you take it with you. So you're like, oh, I feel like, when I'm standing still, my body's doing this pushing, or it might not be, for the rest of you hoopers, it might not be upwards towards the sky, it's often over to one side. But when we turn in a circle, we're like, oh, it starts to smooth out, it starts to flatten out. Karen says, does clothing make a difference? Yes, but I can't be nude, so yes, I have to wear my clothes on Zoom. Okay, so yes, does clothing make a difference? This is a big question. This is why a lot of hoopers use grip tape, because we get some friction. In the early days, my hoops were taped like this. So because I thought they looked beautiful, but also there was more friction on my skin. Definitely, a lot of hoop teachers and a lot of hoopers will say when you're learning leg hooping, like just wear your undies or wear shorts because it sticks. You've got that friction on your skin. So the same applies for upper body. But we can't all just like fling our clothes off. But you'll notice, yes, I was practicing before this class, and I've got this like slippery kind of cotton. Even though it's a natural fabric, I find myself needing to over exaggerate some of my movements because it will slip a little. So yes, it does make a difference. But that doesn't mean it doesn't actually. Okay, so here's the thing. And I think this really helped me a lot because I was performing in lycra and headdresses and all these crazy things, which were such a challenge. But anytime a challenge disrupted my movement, it would make me, I would like want to overcome that. Like, how can I work this out? There's always something beautiful to learn. Yes. I hope that answers your question. Fabric, definitely. I can see you listening there. You're like, yes. Does your hoop, oh, your hoop's got grip tape on it. I can see it. So great. Yes. But yeah, if you can like wear a sports bra or something, sometimes you'll feel a difference. Definitely. Okay, how's everyone going? I'm leaving you to do all the hard work because you're so gorgeous. All right, we're going to do something completely different. If you need to take a little break and have a drink of water, we're going to just move into a little sequence of movement that's going to bring connection to your chest, to your upper body. And I always say that it's all related. So anything, any part of hooping or practice, or even freestyle ecstatic dance, or even the way that you jump in your car and drive, or sit down at your dinner table, everything, every part of embodiment or movement is all related. So this next little sequence is something, actually I probably taught this on YouTube, but I love it, and I love that it connects me with my upper body hooping. So looks like this. Hopefully you can do it in a tiny space if you're inside. It's a body wrap and a fold to this beautiful chest stall. And then for some of us, we will actually go into shoulder hooping from that. Whether you've done it or not, I highly encourage you to try it. So grabbing your hoop, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to go from my right around to my left. But if you're left-handed, or you feel like being left-handed right now, if you have a left hand, then you can go from your left to your right. And the way that I do a body wrap, if you haven't done this, you can do it standing still, or you can do it turning in a circle, and you're going to give your hoop enough momentum to drop it off. It rolls around the back of, or the top of your shoulders, and you want it to come back to you at the front here. If you do it too hard, it's going to kind of get out of control, and if you do it too soft, it won't make its whole way around. So this is a really good practice. It's one of those moves where we have to let go with our hands and contact with our body, and get used to the weight, the time, the momentum. So, and turning in a circle, you take it with you. You can take your arms out or not. So give that one a try. Cool, beautiful, nice. Go, Tanya. If it feels like it's dropping off, so if you're like, oh, I'm doing the right thing, and then it's kind of dropping off, then maybe you're getting a little bit too flighty. So you want to stand your ground, and this is a game with our shoulder hooping too. Like anytime that we pop or drop, then our hoop is going to pop or drop as well. So you want to keep. Last week, if you were with me, we were talking about our favorite things, whatever it is at the moment, chocolate croissants or bags of watercolor, or whatever it is that's happening in your life right now. My favorite herbs that I've been growing on your shoulders, and keep, anytime you drop them, they're going to fall on the floor. And it's the same with this kind of shoulder wrap. I do lean forward a little, but it's usually just my head. I just get my head out of the way. After you have feeling like the shoulder wrap or your body wrap comes around to the front, you press your hands to your heart, your elbows take your hoop up and over, and here we go. This is where the magic is for a little bit of shoulder hooping. Keep your elbows underneath your hoop, like this. Keep your hoop against your heart. Take your hands back. It's a beautiful opening for the front of the body, and your hoop should be pressed against your chest. And if you're feeling really momentous, if you have a lot of momentum, then you can actually take your hands away from your hoop, and if you don't get too dizzy, then you can do a chest stall. So see if you can try that in one sweeping beautiful motion. Body wrap on the chest, fold up, and then turn so that it rests just above your boobs. Here is the extra challenge if you're feeling it, if you're ready for some full body connection. After we do the wrap, then we fold it up and over, and we've got our angel wings on, but you're feeling really courageous, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to go from here, this absolute standstill stall, to shoulder hooping. We're going to choose a direction that we prefer to turn in. For me, that's my left. It might be your right. And we propel ourselves around. It's going to go across our outside shoulder, we punch into it with our back and then instantly with our chest. So you have this full spiral 360 ripple in your body, which looks something like this. I'll try it from this way. So I propel, shoulder, back, chest. Now, if your chest doesn't hit it, it's going to fall down, but it doesn't matter if it falls down. That doesn't, honestly, if it's dropping on the floor, it's okay. It's just one of those new beautiful learning curves that we're moving on. So here's one thing that I would say. Try not to ever, I've got like feathers all over me. Try not to ever, as you're going around, you're like, I'm an angel, my crown is to the sky. And then as soon as you swing into it, your body sways forward. Always, no matter what we're doing. Remember, you've got your favorite things on your shoulders. You don't want them to drop on the floor. Crown to the ceiling, crown to the sky. So we're practicing the back can push into it, but we don't fold forward with the hips. Cool. This is also a beautiful challenge for those of us who are shoulder hooping, because you can go back to, and it's a love of mine, you can go back to that, whoa, weird beginner uncoordinated phase. And all of us, it's like this constant kind of learning curve with hooping. All of us get to a point where we've practiced and we're like, oh yeah, I'm really good. So you kind of like stick with that for a little bit. And then we come up against another challenge, and then we like skyrocket learning, we have a breakthrough, and then we plateau again. So moves like this can be really good for you to be like, oh, there's something new I've never tried before. Give it a go. Try it a few more times. I'm going to tap in and see how you're going. Nice. Yes. Cool. Go, Christina. Your shoulder hooping's looking amazing. So good. Go, Nicole. How are you feeling? So, some of you were just, I loved that. You were just like, oh, really? Why won't it work? Those beautiful speed bumps that we're kind of like hit and move over, they're there for good reason. And on the other side of that is often these big breakthroughs. Yes, Carolyn, like an angel, like a goddess. Yes. Okay, here's another thing to recognize is that we're in this, we're like, oh, I'm this incredible, beautiful angel swan, but this is not a very good shoulder hooping stance. So as soon as we decide to propel the hoop around, bring yourself back into chest open, shoulders parallel and balance, and arms back in. It's a challenge. It's not easy, but it's a really beautiful one because there's some flow there. Oh, 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 and you have to go from a standstill to shoulder hooping. Just a few more moments. If anything's coming up, if you're like furiously typing away at me or asking questions or wondering why it won't work. Cool, Christina. Nice. Here's the thing. Here's a little tip that I want to give you. Trying to keep it even. Oh, wait. No, that's from Susie before. Good. I thought I missed. Here's something that a mindset switch as we we're past the halfway mark of this class. And I said this to our class or to the other hoopers this morning. Right now, with your hooping, you need to get a little bit more boss with it. So you need to be a little bit more assertive with it, which means that you're going to bring the hoop with you. So if your hoop is just taking over and it's just kind of flying everywhere, there needs to be a little bit more energy and momentum, definitely with on-body hooping. That doesn't mean bigger movements. Oftentimes we're like, to make the hoop go and for me to be assertive and be boss, it means bigger movements. It's actually quite the opposite. It's more energy behind the connection. So something like that, like I can get really kind of frustrated and make these really big movements, and you can see the hoop's going to hit me and break my microphone and door. But if I put more energy into the push, into the connection, rather than more length into my movement or more flailing, especially with on-body stuff, then there's going to be a deeper connection, a stronger connection. So after a while, we tone down the big uncoordinated penguin or the swinging and swaying, and we start to, every time that hoop touches us, we reciprocate. We give it energy back. And that's what will flatten it out. That's what will keep it going for you. Cool. All right. We're going to do a little practice with that right now. So for about just a couple of minutes, maybe almost the whole song, if you've got a song on in the background or if you want to put a new one on, we're actually going to, whatever space you're in, we're going to take up space. So I want you to kind of walk around. You might walk backwards. Now you can do this on any part of your body. In fact, I highly recommend that you try to move and undulate the hoop up and down your body. If it drops, just keep on. The drop's not even a thing. It's not even part of the practice. It's just gravity. So waist, hips, solar plexus, chest, shoulders, neck. Keep it on your body for this whole practice or for this whole song, and keep that mindset shift happening, that there's a beautiful assertiveness, that you're going to give more energy to the connection rather than more big, wild, expressive movements. And we take up space. So wherever you go in the room, take your hoop with you. There's no other way. It's what's happening, all right? So, okay, I'm going to put on a song. You can all put on a song. Someone said they're a bad angel. It's kind of a cool combination. I like it. Oh, the transition. All right, before we go into taking up space. So the transition from around the body, I'll do it really quick. Hands towards your chest, elbows take the hoop up and over. And it's nice and flat here. Push it onto your chest. Keep it there. So you need to, I use any part of my hands or thumbs, whatever I need to. It's balancing on my hands. And if I'm feeling really excited, I can take my hands closer towards each other at the back. Well, let me see, a few more. Do you catch it? You can catch it if you want. You can keep your hands on it if you like. You can wrap your hands around and take it off. So there's many different expressions after that. All right, so how's it going, Tanya? Let me see. You're like, oh, she's stuck in the mud. All right, so for this practice, we are taking up space. We have the energy in the push. If you need to close your eyes every time you feel that hoop hit you, we're taking it around the space with us. So that means no standing still, no drilling right now. Move. Take up space. Turn in a circle. Wiggle your middle body. Reach for the sky. Cool, Tanya. Epic. Yes. Yes. Cool. If at any time, and I know some of you are still like, I need to get this to move. If at any time, always, this rule applies to everything. If you're feeling like it's just really stifled, get your arms out and start to flow on your body. And then you can go back into it. Because here's the tip. Even for someone who's shoulder hooping all the time, it doesn't always work. There are times when I'm in flow and I've done this and I'm like, whoa, okay, arms out. Because I'm being assertive with my hoop. I know that it's going to sometimes fall out of play, but I have this huge bag of tricks, as do you. We can waist hoop, hip hoop, solar plexus, chest, neck, and we start to get familiar with moving the hoop on all parts of our body. So let's continue that. Pushing, maybe, have you ever stepped backwards? Have you ever stepped to the side? Have you ever wiggled your arms out to try to bring that hoop up? Try something new. Be in charge. Oh, how do you smooth them together? A question still coming in from around the body. Yes, catch it, hold it, flip it, and then move. Hopefully that answered your question. But if you feel like you want to go in a circle, if you want to keep turning, you can keep turning if you like. But if that makes it confusing, wrap, catch, flip, then move. Try something different as you take up space, even if it's in a tiny space. So even if you're in a really small space right now and you're like, I can't dance all over the dance floor, I'm going to hit my wall, you can pick your feet up, make space underneath your feet, make space in your ribs, make space between your belly button and your chest, your sternum. Just a few more moments. Keep moving. No stopping yet. Yes. If it's popping up to your shoulders, bring it back down. Beckon it by popping a shoulder up and in. Chest, chest. A little bit more energy behind your push. A little bit more energy behind your decision to do something new, to try it. Yes, cool. Nice. Go, Leanne. Epic. Cool. It's so miraculous watching you all. All right, we're going to try something new. Karen says, here's a good question too, just in case any of you want to practice this, because it's a beautiful practice. It's actually a really divine practice for our hip strength, for our pelvic floor awareness, and just for relaxing muscle pain or tension, if you're feeling supported, if it's okay for your lower back. So to bring the hoop back up from your hips to your waist is the question. I wish that I wore leggings so you could see. So my hip is going to go up, up, up. So it's like I'm squishing, you know, those squishy rolls on the side of your beautiful body. I'm squishing them up, but I'm not like, I don't need to drag myself side to side. So my hips are going from pelvic rock, forwards and backwards, to shake, shake, shake up. And you can activate that by like shaking your booty up, but never out. So waist down to the hips, and then shake, shake, shake up. So shake, shake, shake up. For me, it's more of a side to side, and I'm taking my hips slightly up on each side. Cool. Okay. Here we go. We're going to do a little practice, which is so beautiful. And hopefully you have enough space. If you don't have enough space, you might need to just do this on the spot. But we're going to do some little break patterns. So if you want to change your hoop, you're most welcome to. We've done this in some other classes. So we're just going to ground in for now, and then we'll take up some space. And we're going to make the hoop go in one direction and catch it. You can make one spin or two spins, whatever works for you. Just notice if you start to want to push the hoop, keep a very passive, relaxed, open, balanced chest. If the hoop is going up to your neck, then you're likely pushing it up there. If the hoop is going down to your ribs, then you need to keep it nice and flat and give yourself, this is just coordination. And it's okay if it doesn't happen straight away. One or two spins, one spin and catch, opposite direction. It can feel really bizarre in the beginning, but trust me, there's method to this madness. Madness to this method. Nice. Cool. Beautiful. Yeah, be courageous. Be like, you know what, sister? I'm not just doing one spin. I'm going to see if I can do 1, 2, 3 and catch. 1, 2, 3 and catch. Just notice when you push it up or you get too excited. Cool. And then if we can, we're going to go hand to hand. Most of the hoop is behind us. We're just playing with this very tiny section of our hoop, and our hand is pushing towards our chest. Can feel so bizarre in the beginning, but once you find a rhythm, it means that you have unlocked this timing and you're beating gravity. Not many people can say that. Hand to hand. Don't let it go too far. Be assertive, but not aggressive. If we get aggressive, it goes up to the neck and it does all this. Breathe. Hand to hand. And here is a little pattern that we're going to play with. You can either do 2 hands and a spin, or 1 hand, your decision. But we're going to, as we do, we're going to do 2 spins and 2 turns. So 1, 2, stop. If you get too dizzy, you're allowed to do just 1. 1, 2, stop. 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 So I start to take up space. So get a little bit more courageous. Go take your hoop with you in one direction and then take your hoop with you in the other direction. There is very minimal movement in my upper body. I'm just going with the flow. Going with the flow. So if I start to try to bring too much movement, this is a very soft and gentle practice. A lot of the movement is in my feet, over to one side, over to the other side. The other coordination and timing is in my stop and catch or my break. If any of you have done those epic line dances where you circle over to one side and then the other, let that be your inspiration with your feet. You might want to get rid of your hoop and just have some fun like me. And then if you can bring your hoop with you, you will start to find a flow with it. And I know it's tricky for some of us. But here is where the balance is. If you can try to come back and face me, do a circle one way, face me, do a circle the other way, face me, and see if you can start to create this symmetry on both sides. It might not feel that way in the beginning, but when it starts to kick in, it can feel really rhythmic. Or, better yet, you might find your own balanced pattern. You might decide that you go over to one side and you take an arm out, and then you go over to the other side and you take an arm out. Or you're like, shoulder hooping, it's just not, no, it's not working for me today. And that's okay in this moment. So I'm going to try it on my waist, over to the other side. And I want you to start to create your own circuitry, something that nourishes you and how you're feeling right now. Maybe you dip one arm down and in. Maybe after a while, you do get courageous and you start to do this on your solar plexus with your arms out. Or maybe you quicken the pace and you decide you're just going to jump all over. Totally up to you. Beautiful. You can create other patterns in between this. So break, break, circle to one side. Break, 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 circle to the other side. Break, 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 circle to one side. Find a rhythm. Create this pattern. So it is a little bit like the drilling that we've been doing in the 21-day shoulder hooping, but we start to find some flow. We start to take up some more space. We start to get a little bit more courageous instead of being stuck in the mud. I don't want you to think that being stuck in the mud is a bad thing. Sometimes we have to stand our ground. A lot of times we have to stand our ground. Beautiful. Find a pattern, find a rhythm, and go for it. Don't be afraid to forge your own path. Nice. How's it feeling? Good. If you are not familiar with Baxter of the Hoop Path, if you have not been tuning into some of his YouTube live, or I believe he's also on Facebook Live, then please look up, please Google, please search out into the hoop world for J.L. Baxter or Jonathan Baxter, who is the founder of Hoop Path and has a lot of drills and practices and just nourishing movement medicine for on body and off body as well, hooping. And it just can be a really nice, more than nice. It could be a life changing, a body shaking, a complete expansion of the way that you move. He's an incredible leader and teacher, and I highly recommend that you draw inspiration from a lot of different sources. And many of you may not be, maybe I have told this story probably a million times, but one of the biggest breakthroughs for me with my upper body hooping, if you're feeling stuck, if you're like, come on, Deanne, I have been doing this for 21 days and I still don't get it. What's the deal? For me, it was many more. It was months and months of just letting it happen, just letting my body unfold because it had been locked up in a different way, and it had been injured, and so it took me time. So appreciate that and celebrate. There's no rush. Even some days it can feel frustrating. I cried many times, but for me, it was that practice, little by little, unlocking my body, trying the challenges, going through the frustrations and the joy and the excitement and the obsession. Music really, really helped me. Changing my music. If I was stuck on a certain playlist or a pattern, I would change it, and that rhythm would give me a different rhythm. And we know, sometimes if we, I don't know, I put on like some Brazilian lounge music while I'm cooking, my body wants to move in a different way. If I put on some wild, crazy kind of festival beats, my body wants to move to that, and it will absorb. It's an intelligent, incredible, pulsating being. You are an intelligent, incredible, pulsating being. You will absorb that inspiration. So give yourself, ask a friend, ask a mate if they've got some song suggestions. If you're on that same pattern, disrupt it. Find something new. Whether you like it or not, your body might be like, ew, I hate those banging beats. Give me some beautiful piano and I'll flow. Okay, we're going to have a little cool down so that your body can be ready for the day, or perhaps for sweet dreams or whatever works for you. So let's grab our hoops. How's everyone feeling? Yes, thank you, Susie. So J.L. Baxter, Hoop Path. Check him out. He is the guru. Yeah, how's everyone feeling? All good? Ready for a bit of a stretch? Bit of a relaxed vibe? Yes, cool. All right, let's jump inside of our hoops and just get a little bit wiggly, a bit wobbly. Come back to that beginning. Christina's feeling great. Me too. After this, I'm going to shoot some videos, and it's like, what time is it? It's 8 p.m., but I'm feeling really alive. So hooping for me is better than a cup of coffee, and I really love coffee. So come in and let's wiggle. Wherever that, right at the beginning of this class, there was a part in you, a little part of you that may have been a bit sticky. How does that feel now? Move into that space. If that's your hip, give it a little bit of movement. If that was your neck, perhaps you're gently rolling through your shoulders. If your hands were heavy, if your heart is heavy, just give it some ecstatic freedom and movement. There's no structure, there's no counting, there's no nothing that you need to do. Just wiggle into it, wobble into it. Maybe shake your feet if they're feeling a bit heavy. Perhaps your knees are a little achy. And now I want you to take your thoughts, your awareness, your movement to a part of your body that feels amazing. Perhaps it's your cheeks from smiling. Maybe it's your hair that feels really good. Perhaps your chest or your heart is vibrating. Move that part of your body however you choose. It could be a shake, it could be a swirl, it may be a wiggle or a shimmy. It may even be stillness, and that's totally okay. Whatever medicine that part of your body that feels yummy right now needs. Perhaps it's your hips, maybe your thighs, your booty, or your back. And wherever you're at, just plant your feet on the floor, wiggle your toes so they feel alive. Shake your knees just a little. Wiggle your booty. Jiggle your belly. Bounce your chest. And roll your shoulders back. Take a big deep breath. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale. Start to relax the body. Free the mind. Inhale, fingertips towards the heavens. Let go of any energy that needs to release. And exhale, relax down. We're just going to gently, in our own way, in our own pace, do a bit of a spinal twist, a release, a rinsing out. There are so many hoop moves. This is one of my favorite. I could do this all day. It just feels like a complete unraveling of my whole entire being. For some of us, you may need to reach high and take it low. Your own form of expression. And wherever you're at, placing your hoop to the side, giving it some love. This is the most important part. Take one hand and put it on your chest or your shoulders, perhaps your neck, your heart, wherever feels good in the other hand. Maybe on your belly, your hips, perhaps your solar plexus. And close down your eyes and just feel the warmth radiating from your hands to your body and your body to your hands. Just knowing it's all connected, and every time we pick up our hoop, every time we breathe into it, take up space, allow ourselves to be overjoyed or frustrated, overwhelmed, or completely ecstatic. It's all part of the practice. In a way that feels right for you, that feels nourishing for you. Give yourself some gratitude, some love. Thank yourself for showing up to your practice today, tonight. All right. Relax it out. Enjoy. Ask any questions. Yes, Carolyn says she always feels alive after hooping. Me too. That's why I'm still obsessed after all these years. If you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, comments, anything that you want to share at all, I'm here for you. If you want to share them in the chat box, or if you want to turn your mic on, if that feels better for you right now. It's a pretty small group, so if we all talk at once, the world will start spinning a little better. Thank you. Thanks so much, Christina. It was amazing. It's amazing just to be able to be here and share this space and practice and hoop and see all of your incredible bodies. How lucky we are. Thank you. Thanks so much, Susie. Thanks, everyone. If you've got questions that I missed, if you need any little tips, the transitions. Oh, okay, yes, good. The transitions from angel wings to chest hooping. I don't have enough momentum. Is it about more energy? Or is it a special move with your upper body? Thanks, Leanne. Okay, do you mean like this? So from here, you're like, I'm going to turn in a circle. And then it just dies. Is that what happens? Yes? Yes. 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 Okay, good. All right, so if I'm turning in a circle and then I let my arms go and I'm too slow, then the hoop's just going to drop. So if your hoop is small, what size hoop do you have? Is it Racer? Is that how I say your name? What size hoop? Do you have a small hoop? Okay, cool. It's pretty big. All right. So I'm going to do it with the 90. Okay. All right. I'll do it with like same size as you so you can see my body. And I'm sure a few other people have got this question too, but you're too shy to ask. So if I'm just moving, if my body is just very upright and I'm moving around, but I don't have much momentum, it might stay there for a little while, but then it's probably just going to drop because for the hoop to stick to me, I need a little bit more opening of my chest. It's not about my boobs. It's very much about my chest. So here, and then, and I need enough momentum so that it's some kind of hoop science. The force of my circular momentum and the hoop will stick us together. If you get really dizzy, this might not be the move for you, but at some point you will be able, so see how I'm turning enough? If I slow down, the hoop falls down. Okay, so that's one part of it. You can also do this on your hand if you want to try. So on the back of your hand, this is another type of stall. If you turn around fast enough, the hoop will start to fly. But if you don't want it to spin around, but if I go too slow, it's just going to fall down. Okay, so yes, one part is it's a faster pace. But then to get it into momentum onto your shoulder hooping, so you're turning around quite fast, you need to make contact from chest, shoulder, back. So I really need to swing momentum and get it to touch my shoulder and then instantly push my back into it and then my chest. So it's quite quick. It's like contact, contact, contact. Do you want to have a go? And I'll see. Do you want to try? Show me. Show me. It's always good. Thank you. I'm also reading your comments. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, do it again. Try it one more time or a million more times. And you look beautiful, by the way. Thank you for sharing with us. Okay. All right. So here's another few tips for this one. This is a challenge. And I love that we're trying it. So when you come here, you want to really stand your ground because if you push the hoop around and you're like, oh my gosh, I got it, but then you're kind of like all over the place. A way to stop that is feet on the floor, crown to the heavens. So draw up and then feet on the floor as much as you can and try not to get any of this movement happening. It's quite a tight, so I'll show you a few times. So I'll show you again. So I'm moving. But if I go like this and I'm like swinging it, if I swing my body forwards and around, then I won't have those contact points. I might feel it touch me, but it will just fall off. So posture and momentum pace. Does that help? Are you so close too, by the way? Very, very close. Other questions? When shoulder breaking, the hoop always loses momentum and falls to my waist. How do you keep it on the horizontal plane? When doing this, is that the question? Does it do this? Does it go like that? Is that what happens? Where's Shira? I'm going to find you. There you are. Okay, show me what happens with your breaks. Okay. Okay, so what's happening is you're doing a break and then it drops down like this. And you're like, oh. And then you do a break and it drops down like this. Yeah? So what is happening is your hand is way out here. So then the hoop, it's almost impossible to keep the hoop up. Like I don't have the wrist strength for that. So if you can bring your hands in towards your chest here, it's almost this. But if your arms come out here, then the hoop's going to drop away. I know that I'm doing it with an invisible hoop, but your hands are going to be in close. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm going to watch you. Yes, yes, yes. Yep. It makes it a bit faster. Yep. I would say also, because it's so close, it's not a hard push. You don't have to push it really, really hard. It's actually, it looks like it's, really brutal and fast, but it's like a drumming, a tapping. Have a go. I'm watching you. Yes, Leanne, cool. So from it only has to go this far. It only has to go from this hand, which is kind of in front of my boob, to my other hand. So you're just pushing the hoop this far. It's not the same as pushing it all the way around your waist. It's not the same as pushing it all the way around your chest. Just here. Hand, 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 hand. And it will, if your arm and hand goes all the way out here, the hoop will drop down. And then it's hard to like push it on again. So can you see that most of the hoop is behind me? I have a big gap. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm simply playing with this front part of my hoop. Anytime my hand goes out here, it's really hard to keep that flat momentum. Yes, try. Yep, have a go. I'm watching you. In a really, yes, 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 that's it. Cool. Yes. I know. I can see you doing this, and that's part of it. It's part of it. It's actually frustrating, and it's frustrating. I so remember learning this. I was like, how can this simple move be so hard? I don't understand. Calm down, relax the rhythm, and find a pace. Has anyone ever learned to play the drums? Have you ever learned to play the drums? It's really hard. So when you see someone and they're like, and you're like, oh, I can do that. I got a beat tap and no, it's actually really hard. And it can take a lot of extra time just to get hand, hand. Does anyone else have any tips? It helped me when at the beginning I did the breaks lower on your solar plexus or your tummy to get the timing. Yes. So here, a lot of people start, and this is like your fingers will be down, and you just want to keep it touching your tummy, but it's this fast. So, yes, oh my gosh, there you go, you got it. Go, go, yes, yes. That's it. And that exact drilling is often what it takes. So you're like, oh, doesn't work, pick it up. Oh, it doesn't work, pick it up. Then you'll start to get a little bit more assertive with it. But because it's so precise, you don't want to be batting it up to your neck. You need to keep it here. And it's so different to a lot of other hoop moves. But the reason why I really encourage you to have it in your bag of tricks is because when we're chest hooping, it's a great way to build a little bit more momentum. So we're not always stuck like doing this all the time and you're like, oh my goodness. So it brings a little bit more variety. It allows you to change direction if you want to. It's definitely worth it. And as we have seen, if many of you have seen in many of the hoop styles, breaks have become a whole style on their own. And plus, it's epically amazing for your brain. Left, right, left, right. Let's just say we're all going to get more intelligent. I'm still watching, Sherry. You're so much better in like 2 minutes. That's often, it can feel like it's going to take forever, but you're there. Cool. Yes, Karen is correct. It is harder with a bigger, heavier hoop because, ooh, this compared to my Poly Pro, oh, there's a lot of weight. Now here's how I shock absorb, because you can protect, please don't try to push this into your face, but there's shock absorption with these big, beautiful hoops, because I can't just like push it into, you're going to hurt something. So to shock absorb, I turn my body. I go with this big, beautiful mama hoop, but I feel it slipping on my, because it's gravity. And the way that we counteract gravity is that we use momentum of our push, our energy, or we use our hands to keep it up, or we have some kind of, shelf to put it on. So it's very much timing. But yes, it is harder. You are absolutely correct. Do you explain other breaks in the course? I'm on day 12 or 13 now. Oh, epic. Good on you. You're halfway. Yeah. Getting there. Yeah, we do some more breaks towards the end. I have some other on YouTube. I have some other break tutorials too. But like we were just saying, you can do a lot of them on your waist. If you're using a lighter weight, you can do trap breaks don't do this with a big hoop. You will hurt yourself. If your bones are fragile, you may do damage. But you can trap between the fleshy part of your arm. Got lots of flesh there. And your body. You can trap your hoop and you can bat it side to side. That's an extra challenge if gravity, because you don't actually grab it. You can do, I feel like I have some YouTube tutorials where I do inner elbow breaks. So I take my arm out and I break it on the inside of my elbow. I think unless maybe you missed one of the other live classes, we also did some vertical breaks that are similar to the hand-to-hand breaks. Yeah, and moving with it is another really important. So standing still, you're going to find that coordination, find that rhythm, find that left, right, left, right, left, right. But as we did in class today, we're also able to move and break, move and break. We can also go from horizontal to in the hand, vertical. In the hand, bring it up. Notice I use my other arm to help me. It's okay. When we're in hoop dance flow, that is, we're going from one trick to another, that kind of hoop dance flow. We're often manipulating, micro-adjusting, using our hand. The hoop doesn't always go in the perfect right place. Wouldn't that be amazing? So, but that's the beauty and that's the joy of it. Always kind of with a dance partner. Any other questions? You beautiful, amazing, incredible humans. So many hoops everywhere. Wild spinners in the house. Cool. I love seeing all your names. It's so cool. Wild spinners. Why didn't I think of that? Why am I Hooplovers? That's so rad. That's amazing. Epic. Go, Shira. Holy, not even. You look at you go in that, in 5 minutes of practice. Okay, practice makes amazing. That's the rule. You're getting there. So much better. Yes, yes, yes. Some things that I've done too, which I've shared many times, is I like to chant. So left, right, or I'll be like, I can only do 4 spins. All right, hallelujah, I can do 4 spins, but next time I'm going to do 5. So if I can just get to 5, I am freaking amazing. So you don't have to do it forever in a day. Thanks, Wild Spinners. I don't like your name. I freaking love your name. That's epic. Yes. Okay. Are you Wild Spinners? Wait, are you Wild Spinners on Instagram? There's so many amazing hoopers and I can't always keep up with everyone. So when I meet you in real life, then I can follow you. No, but you will be. Yeah, you should be. Get that name before I do. No. I don't need any more hoop biz. Grab it. I'll find you or message me. Let me know. Okay. Oh, cool. Yes. All right. Beautiful. You're in it. You're on it. Sharing the love. I hope everyone does. And also, that's another big tip. Make all of this into your own. And if you can share it with 1 person or 10 people or 100 people or 10 million people, please do it. Look what it does to us. It brings us alive and it brings us together, especially in times like this. So how'd you go, Shira? Am I saying your name right? Hopefully. Good. Yes. Beautiful. Can you feel that improvement? I can see it through a tiny little box on a screen. I can see it. So hopefully you're feeling it. Yes, Nicole. Beautiful. And here's one last thing that I'm going to leave you with, unless you've got lots more questions. When you're feeling a bit stagnant in any part of your life, but in hooping, when you're feeling a bit like, oh yeah, mix it up. Music, movement, do something, get wild, be a wild spinner, do something else. Just like get out of and then you can come back and see what newness has come into you. Then play with it. Come back to 1, 2, 1, 2. Come back to your drills. Come back to your practice, and then cut, sit, go wild, create shapes. Come back. It's okay to be ecstatic. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to have a little cry. It's okay to have a little laugh. Come back. It's a hula hoop. We're in this together. Epic. Okay. All right, you amazing humans. I am heading to do some hooping. I actually am. I've hooped so much today. So it's my great love. It is so beautiful to be hooping with you. Tanya, I hope you're rocking it. Looks like you're doing some other cool tricks there. I'm loving it. Thanks, Carolyn, for joining in. Thank you, everyone else. If I've missed you. Oh, one last question. When you're barrel rolling, do you give it a little push halfway or do you just let it circle? What an epic question. You can give it a little push halfway if you want to. And I'm assuming that you're talking about this barrel roll. So you're like, ugh. This one? Yes? Yes. Yes. Okay. You don't have to give it a push with your hands. You can if you want to. But what you want to do is give it a very gentle nudge. If it's kind of dying, then when you get to the top, hopefully you can see it. I'll do it this way. So the earth, the sky, when you get to the sky, if you need to give it a little push right there, you can push it again with your chest push, but don't stand up. So here's what happens when you stand. Most people will stand up because it feels natural to stand up, but when you stand up, the hoop's going to fall down. So support, you don't have to be able to do an epic back bend. Support yourself by bending your knees and opening your chest to the sky. And if you need to give it a little, it's like a chest pop, you can do it. But if you need to use your hand, you can. Bat the hoop around if you want to. You wouldn't have been able to see that, sorry. So wait, I'll do it this way. So you can take the hoop around with your hand, but sometimes people push it too far. So that's why I don't always teach with the hands, because it's a whole other way of hooping, paddling. Does that make sense to you? You give it a little pop with your chest. Yes. No, more questions. She's typing as fast as she can. I know, Zoom's funny like that, isn't it? It's like, yes, let me know. Oh, you said, yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, so, and you can use, because it's barrel rolls are a really full body expression. If your chest doesn't have any oomph left in it at the top, you can use a little bounce in your knees. So as you come over, you can kind of bounce with your knees. You might have noticed there, I did a little shoulder push. As long as you don't push it, like you don't let your arms flail. So as you come around, you can push with one shoulder a little bit, but don't let your arm push it. Otherwise, it's not gonna do its circle. A little bit of chest popping will be your friend. If you can open up, yeah, this kind of thoracic area, this is heart opening. It's going to help you with everything in life. It's going to help you with your love life. All right, beautiful humans. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for showing up for yourself. I'm going to see you on another screen. I wish it was in real life. soon, maybe. Stay well. Take care of you and your family. Mwah.